Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss Hodgkin's lymphoma. So we'll be covering the topic under the following headings. Starting with the introduction, when we talk about a lymphoma, lymphoma is always malignant. There is no benign counterpart for lymphoma. So it's a misnomer because it has oma in the its end, and we have read that the tumors which have oma in their end will be benign, and carcinoma and sarcomas will be considered malignant. So this lymphoma is a misnomer in oral pathology because it is always malignant and it is suffixed by oma word. So it is a neoplastic proliferation of the lymphopoietic portion. So in this we'll see the proliferation of the reticuloendothelial cells. So there will be two cell population in the lymphomas. One is the lymphocytic population, another is the histiocytic population. These histiocytes are modified macrophages. So we'll see the lymphocytic and the histiocytic cells in varying degrees of differentiation. But the population seen in the lymphoma is usually homogeneous and it of single cell type. So you have to remember this definition in the same sequence, that lymphoma is a neoplastic proliferative process of lymphopoietic portion of reticuloendothelial system which involves either lymphocytic or histiocytic cells in varying degrees of differentiation. For example, it can be poorly differentiated or it can be well differentiated, and it is usually homogeneous. When we talk about the character of the histological involvement, it can be diffuse or it can be nodular. So there can be diffuse spread, uniformly spreading of all the lymphocyte and the histiocytes, or they can form nodules, and the distribution can be regional, that is localized, or it can be systemic, that is generalized. But the process is usually multicentric. When we talk about lymphomas, they are neoplasm of lymphoreticular system, and their site can be the primary lymphoid organs, that is the lymph nodes, or it can be in the extranodal sites such as spleen and liver. So the nodal based malignant proliferation of lymphoid cells can be Hodgkin's disease or it can be non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. In non-Hodgkin's, we'll be studying follicular and diffuse and small versus large. So when we talk about the neoplasm of lymphoid tissue, they are considered as lymphoma and they are categorized as Hodgkin's lymphoma and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So now defining Hodgkin's lymphoma, it is basically a lymphoma which is characterized by the presence of Reed-Sternberg cell. So the diagnostic cell for Hodgkin's lymphoma is the presence of Reed-Sternberg cell, which is being named on its discoverer, that is Dorothy Reed and Sternberg. These are two scientists who found these cells in Hodgkin's lymphoma. Also, there is background of inflammatory cells. So in the background, we'll get the atypical lymphocytes along with the presence of Reed-Sternberg cells. This Hodgkin disease is a malignant tumor in which we can appreciate pleomorphic lymphocyte, that is various morphology of lymphocytes can be appreciated. Also, there is histiocytic infiltrate. Along with that, there will be multinucleated Reed-Sternberg cells. So in today's discussion, we'll study about the different types of Hodgkin's lymphoma. Along with that, we'll also see different types of Reed-Sternberg cells. When we talk about the classification for Hodgkin's lymphoma, the earlier classification was given by Lukes, who classified Hodgkin's lymphoma into lymphocytic and the histiocytic type, mixed cellularity type, nodular sclerotic type, reticular and diffuse fibrosis. Further, it was revised by Rice classification, in which 4 classifications were given: lymphocyte predominant, lymphocyte depleted, mixed cellularity, and nodular sclerosis. Now, in the current era, the WHO's classification is being accepted, in which lymphoma is being categorized into 2 varieties. First is the lymphocyte predominant nodular variety, and second is the classical variety. In the classical Hodgkin's lymphoma, they have further subdivided into 4 categories. First is lymphocyte rich, second is the lymphocyte depleted. So one you have to remember as the rich variety, one you have to remember as the lymphocyte depleted variety. Then there is mixed cellularity, in which you will see both lymphocyte as well as histiocytes. And the 4th category is the nodular sclerosis, in which you will see the sclerosing stroma. When we talk about the pathogenesis, it can be viral etiology, most commonly Epstein-Barr virus. Also, it is seen in immune deficiency patients such as HIV. Now, whenever any patient have any genetic predisposition, so they become more prone to such tumors. So genetic predisposition is, yes, one important factor. Another thing is the cytokines. Whenever there is the cytokines levels are increased, they have shown to increase the propensity to develop lymphomas. When we talk about the incidences, incidence is very less. In about 1 lakh population per year, only 2 to 4 cases have been reported. And when we talk about the age distribution, this tumor shows bimodal age distribution. Now you have to answer in the comment box which other pathology shows bimodal age presentation. Okay. So please write the answer in the comment box. So for the lymphoma, there is bimodal age presentation. The first peak is seen between 15 to 35 years, and the second age is above 50 years. When we talk about the gender predilection, it is predominantly found in males. When we talk about its clinical presentation, since it is a tumor of lymph node origin, so the most common symptom is enlargement of the lymph node, which is painless. Also, these lymph nodes become rubbery and swollen, and mostly the lymph nodes of neck and shoulders are involved. When we talk about these other presentations in the systemic, then there is splenomegaly, that is enlargement of the spleen, which is seen about 30% of the cases. Also, in some cases, the enlargement of the liver can be seen, which is about 5%. In some cases, enlargement of spleen and liver both takes place in the same disease. Also, there is associated back pain, which can be appreciated in some patients. And one manifestation which is seen on the skin is the presence of red color patches on the skin. Also, they may bleed. So these are the pinpoint petechiae which can be appreciated in the skin. This is one manifestation of Hodgkin's lymphoma which is seen on the skin. When we talk about the systemic symptoms, some patients of Hodgkin's lymphoma may present with systemic symptoms. These are low-grade fever, night sweats, abrupt weight loss. There can be pruritus, and this pruritus is because of the increased level of eosinophil. So whenever there is increase in the eosinophil count, it will lead to pruritus. Also, there will be fatigue, cough, shortness of breath. All this will be due to the enlargement of the mediastinal mass. Now coming on to the diagnostic cell for the Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it is the Reed-Sternberg cell. These are the large multinucleated cells, or they can have bilobed nucleus. So if we talk about characteristic owl's eye appearance, that is for the classic Reed-Sternberg cells. So in the classical Hodgkin's lymphoma, we'll see these owl's eye appearance Reed-Sternberg cells, in which there will be prominent eosinophilic incursion-like nucleoli. Therefore, it will give the appearance of an owl's eye. These cells are positive for some immunohistochemical markers such as CD30 and CD15, which is diagnostic for Hodgkin's lymphoma. However, these cells are negative for CD20 and CD45. When we see the histopathology of Reed-Sternberg cells, we can appreciate in this histopathological diagram that it is a classical Reed-Sternberg cell with bilobed nucleus and eosinophilic nucleoli, therefore giving an owl's eye appearance. Also, there are other types of Reed-Sternberg cell. One category is lacunar cells. These are round lobated nuclei. They have vesicular chromatin, and there will be small to medium sized nucleoli. And the cytoplasm becomes pale and retracted. Therefore, the tumor cells appear to lie within a lacunae. So it can be an artifact, shrinkage artifact also, or it can be because of the sclerosing phenomena also. So this kind of Reed-Sternberg cells are seen in nodular sclerosis, Hodgkin's lymphoma, where we can appreciate that there is the contraction of the cytoplasm. So we'll see the nucleus and the nuclei clubbed together, and there will be a clear halo around. Another category of Reed-Sternberg cell is the pleomorphic. Pleomorphic means varied morphology. So we can appreciate large Béjaré polypoid nuclei. This is typical of lymphocyte depleted Hodgkin lymphoma. Whenever the variety is lymphocyte depleted, we'll see pleomorphic, but also it can be seen in nodular sclerosing, in which we were seeing the lacunar type. Also, this can be seen in mixed cell variety type. So pleomorphic type of Reed-Sternberg cell is typical of lymphocyte depleted Hodgkin's lymphoma, but it can also be seen in nodular sclerotic type and mixed cellularity type. Another variety of Reed-Sternberg cell is the polypoid type or popcorn type, or it is also known as lymphocytic histiocytic type. These are large cells. They have lobulated nucleus, and they appear like a popped kernel of corn. It's like a popcorn, and it is predominantly seen in lymphocyte predominant type. So can you appreciate? It is a polypoid type variety in which you can see the popped cells. Now coming on to the types of Hodgkin's lymphoma, we'll be focusing on the histopathology. This is the nodular sclerotic type of Hodgkin's lymphoma, where you can appreciate the rich amount of lymphocytes along with these nodule forming with the sclerosed background. So in this variety, we can appreciate lacunar type of Reed-Sternberg cells. Another type of Hodgkin's lymphoma is the mixed cellularity type. In this variety, you can see lymphocytes, histiocytes, and the Reed-Sternberg cells which are seen in this category can be lacunar type, or they can be polypoid type, or they can be pleomorphic type. Sometimes you can also appreciate mononuclear Reed-Sternberg cells also. This is the lymphocyte depletion type. Whenever there is lymphocyte depletion, the majority of the time, the Reed-Sternberg cells which can be appreciated are the pleomorphic type. However, other varieties such as mononuclear or lacunar type can also be appreciated. But majority in lymphocyte depleted, we appreciate pleomorphic Reed-Sternberg cells, in which you can appreciate large Bijare multinucleated cells. Another category is the lymphocyte predominant type, in which there is predominance of the lymphocytes. Along with that, there can be mononucleated Reed-Sternberg cell, as you can appreciate in the diagram, or they can be binucleated. Also, there can be lacunar type. This is the summary of all the subtypes of Hodgkin's lymphoma, in which you can do the comparison that which type is predominant. So when we talk about the predominance of the subtypes, nodular sclerosis has the highest frequency, followed by mixed cellularity type. Then when we talk about the gender predilection, most commonly it is associated with males. Only nodular sclerosis shows predominance in females. When we talk about age, it shows bimodal presentation. When we talk about the diagnostic Reed-Sternberg cells, so in the nodular sclerotic type, it is present. When we talk about the type of Reed-Sternberg cells, which is seen in different subtypes of Hodgkin's lymphoma, whenever it is lymphocyte predominant, that time there will be predominance of lymphocytes and the histiocytes, and there will be large Bijare cells, which will be mononuclear. So there will be mononuclear Reed-Sternberg cells, whereas in nodular sclerosis, lacunar type of Reed-Sternberg cell is diagnostic. In the lymphocyte depleted variety, there will be pleomorphic Reed-Sternberg cells. Now you have to attempt the MCQs. You have to write the answers in the comment box. Thank you.